being an entrepreneur sounds cool, but the reality of building a business is very, very difficult. Every level that you hit, there's a lot of things that suck that you just won't want to do. What you're capable of is on the other side. I don't feel like it.
And if you're committed to what it is that you're trying to do, nothing is going to stop you from getting there.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Business Owners with myself, Trevor Cowley. Guys, today is a banger solo episode for you. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and you guys know every so often I go hard in the paint. Starts off a little slow, and then I punch you in the mouth towards the end. And so if you guys are ready to level up personally and professionally, go to joinrbo.com. Other than that, keep kicking ass and enjoy today's episode. Today I want to talk about goals and the importance of being very specific in the goals that you're setting. Whether you're talking about personal goals or whether you're talking about business goals. The most common mistake that I see in masterminds is people don't have specificity when it comes to their goals. They don't know what they're showing up for on a day-to-day basis, so they don't know if it's even a successful day. That day that they lay down looks like yesterday, looks like last week, last month, last year. And they're getting frustrated on why they're not seeing progress with inside of their business. I will tell you that is directly related to the specificity that you have in regards to your goals. That I want to hit $5 million this year. What does $5 million look like in terms of the amount of clients that you would have to have in order for that number to become a reality? Now we would break down that number within the amount of days or weeks or months that are within the year. So how many clients would you have to service on a month-to-month basis? How many clients would you have to acquire each week, each day, so that when you're showing up every single day, you know with specificity what you need to be doing that would help you create a sense of urgency so that you're hitting your goals. And if you're falling behind, again, the urgency is going to continue to light a fire under your ass to make some changes. So you can keep showing up the exact way that you've always shown up because you don't have goals that are stretching you bigger than the result that you've currently are experiencing. So it makes it easier for you to wake up and live the same day over and over and over because you don't have a goal that's forcing you to change. So you can keep showing up the way that you've always shown up. The result that you're currently experiencing, my guess, will probably be the same result that you would experience next month and next year. Here's a common mistake that I see with business owners. Personal brand is super, super important. Social media is super important. Yes, continue to leverage it. But if that's all you're doing is you keep showing up on Facebook posting about your business, guess what? People already know who you are and they know what you do and they can reach out to you provided they need that product or that service. Now, I'm not saying that it won't work in general. What I'm saying is it's not going to work for where you're trying to go. It's going to work for the results that you've always got. So if you're comfortable with where you're at right now, keep doing what you're doing. But when you start expanding your goals, you're going to realize the way that you've always done it's just not going to work. It's not going to get you where you want to go. And so what this does is it wakes up that dormant potential that's within inside of you. And it says, you've got to do something different if you're going to expand the result that you've ever experienced. If you're going to expand your capacity to receive more. And so if you have a large goal and you know the way that you're doing it isn't going to work, it's going to force you to look at options outside of the way that you've always done it. It's going to force you not to be complacent waking up tomorrow, showing up in the same manner in which you did yesterday. So what are the goals that are forcing you to expand yourself? It could be goals of removing or delegating certain positions within inside of your organization. In other words, you would have to expand your being as an individual and become greater than the current version of you because the current version of you keeps holding on to those tasks. You don't want to delegate it because you don't want to have to jump in and save the day because it's easier for you to continue to do it the way that you've always done it rather than giving up that task to somebody else and then having to train them or then having to go back in and fix that. So if the goal is I want to be removed from my day-to-day operations, that would require you to expand yourself in a manner in which allows you to be okay with some of the hiccups that might happen when you go through the process of delegating some tasks. If you have a goal of doubling the size of your business, you would either have to double your marketing, double your sales team, where you would have to go about marketing completely different. Maybe you're not spending any money on ads or any marketing, but if you doubled, that would require you to have to open up a marketing campaign that allows the possibility of you doubling to be able to become a reality. And so goals are the things that expands us, that force us to become greater than the current version of us. And if we don't have goals, we will run on autopilot. We will subconsciously show up in the exact same manner in which we did yesterday. That's just the way that we're programmed. So if we have that information, let's utilize the information to our advantage and set goals that are so great that they're a little scary, they're a little nerve-wracking, that maybe force us to do things that we wouldn't normally do. If you want to expand your business, the first thing that you're going to have to look at is 1, delegating, expanding your leadership team. 3, looking at your marketing. 4, looking at your sales process. 5, looking at all your processes in the manner in which you communicate to your clients. As you expand your business, some of the systems and processes that you currently have in place aren't going to allow you to continue to do it that way. So that's the reason why most people don't expand in a dramatic way, is because it creates too much pain. So if you want to get unstuck from the results that you're currently experiencing, you're going to have to increase the pain that you currently experience in order for you to get on the other side of it that allows you to have the possibility or the potential to receive a new result. So the question that I have for you is, being in the 4th quarter of the year, are you getting complacent? Are you getting comfortable? Are you looking into next year trying to set goals on how you're going to expand? Are you going to put a full court press within the next couple months in order to close out the year strong? Maybe put things in place so that 2025 is a little bit different. Now, over this 4th quarter season, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about, oh, it's separation season, the holidays. Every day is fucking separation season. I'm so sick of people believing that there's just a season in which people separate. How you operate your business on a day-to-day basis decides whether or not you're separating yourself from the common business. How you show up every single day as an individual is going to be the determining factor of whether you're separating yourself from the common individual. There is no separation season. Yes, there are seasons in which people get more complacent than others. But I'm telling you, separations happens every single day in the manner in which you show up, the time that you wake up, the information that you digest, the urgency that you operate with, the goals that you set that force you to expand yourself. That is how you separate yourself from the common individual, the common business owner. That's how you expand yourself into becoming greater and greater. Now, if you do not work with a sense of urgency, if you don't operate within goals, if you don't have specificity in your life, hey, I want to run 10 miles a day. My guess is I would never have ran 10 miles a day unless I was being very specific and set a goal saying, I want to run 10 miles every single day. What would that individual look like? Who could I actually become if I was an individual that was able to overcome the pain or discomfort that running 10 miles a day would put upon my body and my mind? Who could I become? I want to meet that individual. So did I separate myself by running 10 miles a day through very specific seasons or holidays, or was it a day-to-day separation? It was daily tasks. Now, guess what? The holidays are just another day. Now, those days make it completely transparent in which who's really putting in the work, because 99.9999% of people will take those days off and become complacent and become comfortable. Now, I'm not saying throughout this season for you not to experience some level of comfort with your family or your friends or people that you love and you care about. But what I'm saying is, are you utilizing it as an excuse to get worse as a human being, as a business owner? And I'm not saying hustle culture 24/7. I'm not about that. If you guys know anything about me, you know for a fact that I've talked about making a large sum of money and how unfulfilled I was at the end of that. And that self-worth is completely different than net worth. So there are certain tasks and certain things that you'll need to do to increase your net worth. And there's certain tasks and things that you'll need to do to increase your self-worth. Those are two totally different things that you're going to have to focus on individually to increase both of them. As an individual, I'm going to challenge you to find something that you could do every single day that's very specific, whether it's meditating for 10 minutes, whether it's reading 10 pages, whether it's walking 2 miles, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's reading your children a book. It doesn't matter what it is, something that you could do consistently every single day that will have compound positive results, whether it's in your personal life, in your finances, in your relationships. It doesn't matter the area in which you choose. What matters is that you choose consistency. And the day-to-day effort in which you lay down will determine whether or not you separate yourself from the average relationship, the average finances, the average self-worth, whatever the area in which you choose to improve. But let's not get to the point where we believe just because we're outperforming people on Thanksgiving Day, where we're showing up on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day, that all of a sudden now we've just completely separated ourselves from society and that we're just so much greater. Like, let's say, for instance, that that's what you did. You were half-assing life completely, but then you separated yourself from the common individual on a few days a year that are holidays. You really think the result that you're going to experience is going to be that much greater than everybody else? I do not believe in a separation season. I believe every single day is an opportunity for you to separate yourself from the norm. And if you don't act in a manner in which aligns with that statement, you will not have results that are outside of mediocre, that are outside of average. What goals do you need to set for yourself that forces you to expand your business? What goals do you need to set for yourself that creates a sense of urgency for you every single day that you come in? I have a goal to expand the Real Business Owners community, and I have a goal to hit by the end of the year, and I have a goal that I need to hit every single month, and I have a goal that I need to hit every single week. And if I start falling behind on these goals, what it does is creates a sense of urgency for me. It says, well, I had a goal of onboarding 10 new members, and I'm only at 8. Now there's a fire that's lit. Okay, what do I need to do now? Do I need to make another post on social media? Do I need to start running marketing campaigns? Do I need to reach out one by one to specific people that I think that would be a good fit for the community? So what happens is now new thoughts are getting kicked up and created because there's a new sense of urgency that I have because I'm falling behind on the very specific goals that I set for growing the Real Business Owners Mastermind and the Real Business Owners community. So if you don't have specificity in your personal goals, whether you're talking about the weight that you want, whether you're talking about the amount of times that you want to exercise, if you're talking about the type of revenue that you want to generate within your business, don't expect to receive great results because you're not going to accidentally receive great. I don't know anybody on planet Earth that has accidentally, luckily, fell into great results. Now, there might be an area in which they fall into great results, whether you're talking about finances, but then you look at their mental health and they're completely at a low and they don't know what to do with themselves because they have way too much freedom and free time, and they end up destroying themselves because they don't have the self-worth side figured out. So there's a balancing act, and I hate to say the word balance, but there is. There's a balancing act in which you have to have a high level of self-worth if you're going to have a high level of net worth. And the reason that is because when your net worth starts outperforming your self-worth, what's going to happen is you're going to become comfortable and complacent. If anything, you could start harming your net worth and cooling that down to a level in which is equal to your self-worth. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people have a window of opportunity to change their life because they've touched a certain amount of money that has the ability to do that. But in the manner in which they managed the money, they were a detriment to their future. They hurt themselves because they didn't feel worthy of, and what they did is they tried to utilize the money that they were making in order to feel like that they were worthy as an individual. In other words, they were spending their way into trying to find self-worth. So if I have you validate me because of the things that I drive or the clothes that I wear or the watches or the jewelry or the vacations, if I can make you believe that I think something about myself that I don't think about myself, then maybe I'll actually start believing it. And what they're doing is they're subconsciously destroying themselves because they're utilizing this thing that has the ability to really create financial security and true freedom, which is their finances, in order to try to fill a hole where they lack, which is lack of self-worth. And so if you believe money's going to fill that hole, you're sadly mistaken, because what you're going to find out is you'll utilize that to try to fill that hole, and that doesn't fill it. So all the money will go into that hole, and then you're going to be left with still low self-worth, and your money isn't right anymore. So get very specific on goals that were going to force you to become better as an individual, that increases your self-worth and forces you to expand your being, but also set very specific goals within inside of your business that make you have to maybe change your marketing approach. Maybe makes you have to change the way that you sell. Maybe instead of you doing all the selling, you're going to have to get a salesperson within inside of your organization. Maybe you have to expand your business so much that you're not going to be able to handle everything that you do on a day-to-day basis because the customer load would be too great, which would force you to learn how to delegate. So get very specific on what you're trying to do, but make it way bigger than the current results that you're experiencing. Again, this is personal through your physical and through your business. And if you do those two things, I'm telling you for a fact, you will operate in a manner in which is greater than what you currently operate under. I've personally seen it. I've operated differently because I've set big, scary, unrealistic goals. But it's only unrealistic to the individual that's not willing to put in the work. I knew for a fact that I was willing to go through whatever discomfort is required because I wanted the results so bad. There's not amount of discomfort, amount of struggle or stress that's going to take me out because I've already made a predetermined decision that this is the result I want. This is the life that I want to experience, and this is what I want on my resume before I die. And when I've made a decision, the decision isn't dictated based upon situations or circumstances or conditions. I'm not going to alter my behavior based upon conditions or circumstances. Now, I might alter the manner in which I approach the goal that I have. I've got to be adaptable, but I'm not going to alter the goal, only the approach if necessary. So get specific. Be willing to adapt to new ways of operating your business. Be willing to adapt to new ways of living your life. Because I'm telling you, being proud of yourself and having financial security, those are two things that very few people ever experience. And that's because they're not specific in the goals they set, and they don't all out make a commitment and a decision that this is what's going to happen. And I don't care the pain, struggle, or stress that I'll have to bear. This is the result that I'm going to experience. And when you operate in that manner and you don't go through a separation season, you create daily habits that separate yourself from society, you're going to see results that you didn't even think that you could accomplish. And that's when life starts getting beautiful. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I wanted to make you think. I wanted to get inside your mind a little bit and make you ask certain questions in regards to what your capabilities are. And if you believe that you have a friend or family member, somebody else that can benefit from this episode, please share the show, rate and review the show. Other than that, keep kicking ass, and we'll see you next week.